My name is Varun Karnanandam, founder of Fidesz Mortgages. I'm here with Eddy from DLCG, president
Sir.
of DLC Group of Companies. Thank you for having me here, Eddy.
Well, thanks for being here. It's so nice to be in my office doing a podcast. This is a first, by the way, for me. So this is kind of cool. Thanks for being here.
Time. We don't want you to drive around.
I appreciate that very much. I really do.
So, Eddy, it's kind of cool. Like, first time we are connecting and we are trying to get some message out to say what a great company DLCG is.
Yes.
And some advantages. We're going to talk a lot today. So let's start with your experience in the mortgage space.
Yeah. No, my experience comes from, being around the banks. So during college, I had a part-time job being a teller at Canada Trust. So that was sort of my in on banking, financial, and it was great. It was a great way to sort of cut my teeth, and I loved it. I loved being around, customers, clients that needed money.
Yeah.
And when you need money, you become, one that is easier to deal with. Yeah. So that's where I cut my teeth. And, I moved throughout the ranks at Canada Trust, which was great. And then it was called the side counter back then. So from the teller, you became the side counter person. So if someone needed any, more banking, including, money in, which is GICs, deposits, et cetera, or money out, we called it, which is loans, mortgages, et cetera. Then you sort of help that client, the side counter. Then eventually I moved to more of a specialty role, where I took care of more on the money outside. So mortgages seem to be something I love doing. Real estate, obviously big numbers, helping a client fulfill their dreams, et cetera. So Canada Trust at the time actually had a hiring freeze on their mortgage specialist role.
Which was his, if you don't mind asking?
Oh, God, that was going to be in the 90s. So late 90s, 97.
Okay.
And I had a friend of mine, Matt Murphy, who knew a person at CIBC, Bruno Marcella, that was hiring as a mortgage specialist. So I jumped on that.
That's what the transition happened.
Right. So ended up at CIBC as a mortgage specialist. Loved doing that. It's kind of my entrepreneurial introduction.
So it's like a commission role, if I'm not mistaken?
Full commission role. You went out and got your own business, and then eventually, I had a calling where CMAC was looking for a role. I was growing my family, and I liked the more secure stability. So I spent some time at CMAC. From there, I actually went back to entrepreneurship and became a broker. I loved mortgages, so I became a broker. And then from there, there was an opportunity to help GE Money launch in Canada. And I was approached by Rick Lunny and said, hey, I'll take a sabbatical. Yeah. How often you get to work with the largest, at that time, largest company in the world, to launch a business in Canada. And it was called GE Money. And so I spent some time there, loved it, loved it. And then, of course, the financial crisis hit us pretty hard, yes. So there was an auction for the GE Money business, which unfortunately didn't come to fruition. But Rick Lunny moved over to CIBC and said, hey, I'd love to open a sort of similar non-prime, that's what GE Money was in, business called Access with First Line. So First Line's Access was just starting up, got there, it was great, put together the program, ready to really launch it, and they got caught up in the asset-backed paper reputational business. So they weren't having losses, but their reputation still was kind of lingering. So they shut down the Access program, which left me in sort of limbo. But that's when the Mortgage Center Canada position came up.
Within CIBC?
Within CIBC. So CIBC, who owned First Line, also owned a mortgage brokerage called Mortgage Center Canada. So sort of tapped my shoulder, said, we'd love for you to lead this business. I knew a lot of the mortgage brokers, great reputation. And I said, yeah, of course, love to do that. So that was my sort of in on the mortgage brokerage leading side, leading Mortgage Center Canada. And then they put up Mortgage Center Canada for auction in 2013. And Gary and Chris, who owned DLC, were the successor in that auction. And I came with the transaction. So that got me over to the DLCG side,
DLCG
led
side.
Mortgage Center all the way to 2019. Gary and Chris asked me to lead DLC, did that all the way up to 2024, and then expanded my role to DLCG, which included Mortgage Architects and Mortgage Center Canada, and here I am today.
Perfect. So Eddie, you went through all this like back into which year was Mortgage Center? That was,
When they were sold as 2013.
but when was it started? Like you,
Oh, well, Mortgage Center Canada was Equity Centers back in the 80s.
okay.
And they became part of CIBC in 1991 with their first line transaction.
Got it.
I didn't become part of Mortgage Center until 2008.
So what's the difference you are seeing in the broker space from 2008 to 2025? That's what, almost 17 years?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is reputation. Brokers were back then probably just making double digits in the market compared to the banks. Still had the stigma of doing, private mortgages or, ones that didn't qualify for in banks. So kind of getting through that reputation at that time was the most important piece. And I think, Mortgage Center Canada, which was the longest standing network across Canada, did a really good job having real professionals within that group that helped break that barrier. So we slowly upticked, the mortgage broker penetration in the market. Being part of CIBC probably helped, right?
Yeah.
A reputational institution, right, that had this mortgage broker arm. So that was part of it. So I think that was the biggest difference. I think today, and we were over 50% of the market, especially with first-time home buyers. So I think that is resonating with Canadians more and more, but there's still a lot of work to do. I think we have to do a better job.
As an individual broker.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to do a better job at telling Canadians that it should be the mortgage broker that you come to first, not the bank. We have more options. We can get you better products, better rates. We can get you, more options. So we still have to send that message in the space and in the market. I think we're going to be doing that more and more.
But this also leads into other issue as well, other question as well. So how can you educate the Canadians? I know DLCG and other brokerages, you guys are doing a great job. I think the education is missing. Everyone thinks, why do I need to go to a mortgage broker or mortgage agent when I can go to my own bank?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Banks have been around for hundreds of years. For Canadians, it's the trusted, banking partner that they go to. They have been, their parents have, their grandparents have. So it's not easy, but we're doing a good job. I think first and foremost, we deal with all the banks. Right. So major banks is where we can go and put those clients if they need that. And then, from there, there's other options. So helping Canadians first and foremost, I think brokers do that way better. So educating the Canadians, and that's the question, is, through advertising, and DLC has been doing that for years. We're the only network that has a marketing facing Canadian consumers. And that's important. We can do it through our association. So we have MPC, and that's been something that they've been working on. And I think the most important, Fran, is you and all of our brokers going out. We have social media, so educating through that platform, your communities. Yeah. I know you work well with your community, so educating those communities that it is the mortgage broker that's going to help you get a better mortgage. So, from the ground level of that to, advertising our association and just keep layering on that is important. And, we are doing a good job, but we can do a better job.
Absolutely. And also, I believe a lot of Canadians do not understand. They go to the local branch they bank with, but the people are changing. But the brokers don't change. They still have much option. I think that's the message we need to take it home for all these Canadians and say, we still work with the banks and we are here.
Right.
But you can go to a branch next year, the same person who helped you will be not there.
Yeah, I think the expertise absolutely on the mortgage broker side is heads and shoulders above what they are in the bank. Usually you're seeing someone that has to deal with multiple products, especially if you go to a branch. They do have specialists, but those specialists only have one option, which is the bank they work for. So they're not necessarily going to give you, all what's available.
Probably.
A mortgage broker will.
Absolutely. And within the major banks.
Right. And we have the options of the major banks, trust companies, credit unions. We have private mix,
Yeah.
hundreds of lenders that we can ensure that you are getting the best for what you need.
Yeah. And this is for more of the regular consumers, Canadians, and also the mortgage brokers as well, right? Everyone's like, why DLC? Why do I need to be part of DLC? And how are they different from other networks?
Sure.
So this is the main question I come when I'm doing recruitment. Why do I need to join DLC? I can be anywhere. So let's talk a little bit more about the brand we are proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. Very proud of. And I think the answer is simple. DLC invests in their people. Nobody invests more in our brokers, our owners, our agents. Nobody invests more in our industry than we do. And why that's important is the evolution of this business keeps changing, right? Let's talk about technology, like having the means to keep investing. And we're not talking about tens of thousands or hundreds. We're talking about millions of dollars is really important. We have done that. We have proven that we could compete with the banks. We could compete with our competitors in a way that nobody else can. And it's really important that if you are looking at a career in this industry, that you're connecting yourself with someone that's going to help you, educate you, train you, mentor you to be the best you can, that has the tools, the technologies to get everything that you need to be successful. And nobody else is positioned in the marketplace like we are.
Yeah. Can we chat a little bit more about the technology, how they're different from the other networks, and how is actually put more value to the individual agents to grow their book of business, maybe velocity and a goal rush as well?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a company called Newton. Newton is focused on giving the tools of the tech to our people that's going to give them that advantage.
Yeah.
So Velocity you talked about, so that is our POS system, our point of sale system that allows brokers to have a one-stop shop to take care of their clients from A to Z. So electronically, they can apply for that mortgage through an application called the client journey. With that, they can absorb that information and make sure that they have everything they need for the lender to underwrite that and position that file. They can order the appraisal through the system. They can ensure that the client is informed through that system. Then, of course, when the closing happens, they can still be connected with that client throughout the journey of their mortgage. CRM, you talked about Gold Rush. So Gold Rush was a commitment for us to communicate with that database on anybody that's renewing. And the whole idea is ensuring that they're taken care of. That, you don't just sign your renewal with your lender. Never sign your renewal with your lender. Always talk to your mortgage professional and see what options you have.
Don't roll over.
Right, because Varan can probably go to that lender and make sure you're getting the best deal. And if you are, then Varan will keep you at that lender. But if you want to keep them honest, you have to know what your options are. So Gold Rush gives you that communication to understand that, hey, there is someone that has my back. There is someone that's going to look after me and ensure that I am getting the best best deal. I probably did when I first met with Vran. I want to make sure that when I renew, I continue on getting that best deal, and Vran will take care of that. And that's the whole idea of Gold Rush.
Can you share some success stories you hear from the brokers about the Gold Rush? Because we hear a lot. It's good to hear from you.
We have tons of them. And the testimonials are all throughout, our marketing. But the biggest, I think, the feedback we're getting from our agents is that communication piece. Like their phones are ringing off the hook, their emails, whenever they send that renewal follow-up, and hitting that client up to 32 times a year with different ways of communication. They're saying, wow, it's been incredible, first and foremost, to stay engaged with my clients. And then, of course, the second piece of that is getting that business. Absolutely. So it's either the business itself, because the client has a mortgage, or the referral that they're getting because of the reminders. And that's been, a huge success for us. And we're very proud of Gold Rush and what it's done for us.
Absolutely. I have personally in the Gold Rush. It's a great tool for sure.
Yeah.
Eddy, I don't know if you can share it or not. Can you share about the volume that DLC and DLCG group are funding compared to the banks?
Yeah, so DLCG is, so let's just talk about what DLCG is made up of.
Absolutely. Maybe that's a good idea to say what it is.
So DLCG has 3 networks part of its group. So first, foremost is DLC, which you're familiar with, which you're part of. DLC is the largest network, not only within the group, but also within the country. DLCG also includes Mortgage Center Canada. We talked about Mortgage Center Canada. CIBC used to own them. They are now part of DLCG group. And what's amazing is they're the longest standing network in Canada with 30 plus years. Mortgage Center from coast to coast. And then Mortgage Architects is our third brand. And those make up about 8,700 mortgage professionals across the country. And they originate more than any bank in Canada. So our last quarter showed over $60 billion in origination. Our high watermark in 2021 was over $78 billion.
As a DLCG.
As DLCG. So
what is it compared to the volume of the banks if we compare?
Yeah, so a bank, let's just say a big bank would probably do about half of that origination, maybe 3/4. But not nearly as much.
It's very important to...
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And we have really made a name for ourselves because of that. We're publicly traded on the TSX. Absolutely. Anybody can buy a share of DLCG. And it's important that, size is something that Canadians resonate with, right? So you look at all the biggest brands, people love like the big banks, as you mentioned, Tim Hortons, Starbucks. Everybody likes to know that, hey, what? I'm connected with a brand, and DLC has definitely made a brand for themselves.
Yeah, that's huge, right? Like if you think about as a brokerage funding this kind of volume, it's huge. That means so many Canadians are trusting us, and that's going to continue to grow, in my opinion.
And you said the correct word. It's about trust, right? A brand is about trust. If you think of any big brand, there's a trust factor there, right? You think of, Air Canada, or you think of, Coca-Cola, or you think of, Tylenol, or you think of Starbucks. There is a trust factor that they're going to deliver what they say they're going to deliver. And I think we've done that very well.
Absolutely. So having all these great things doesn't go well without a culture. So let's talk about the culture of DLC and DLCG, because that's the one is need people together, glue to them together, and support them and stay together. Let's talk about the culture from the top up to the agents level. Every single when I go, we like to see each other. It's a huge culture. I personally enjoy the culture here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they say culture eats strategy for lunch, and building the right culture within any organization is so paramount. And you're right. We have this really cool culture at DLC and DLCG. So much so that when we have an event, we don't get 50 or 100, we get hundreds and thousands of people that come together. And it's like you said, they like to be around like-minded individuals, and our CEO, Gary Morris, does an incredible job with that culture. You talked about top down. And, Gary is so involved. He loves this industry that, it's all about how can I help Varan? How can I help my owners? How can I help my brokers, my agents, even my lenders and my partners? And he built that culture of, hey, sort of hat in hand, what can I do for you to help you? And he's built a series called The Next Level. Level Up, also The Next Level. And that was his whole idea was, how do I give back? And that's just the type of culture that we have developed from the top down. And culture here is probably different, a lot different than the banks, and different to our competitors. We have a culture of success within DLCG. Our mentorship, our training, our education is about helping our brokers, our owners, and agents get to that next level. And you can see that throughout in how we train. And we were just talking before, AI is a big subject. And so what can we do within AI to help our brokers be better? And we're working on that right now, not only on the essentials of what you should be using, what exists today, but also we're working on that within Velocity and Newton to help our brokers be better using AI within the process of mortgages. So yeah, that's really important to us.
Yeah, perfect. And I truly like when I was leaving the bank. So my career very similar to yours as well. I was at the bank, TD, CIBC, and being at DLC. What brings me to DLC is a culture. Like I talked to like back then, 8-9 years back, there are not many bankers are leaving to become a brokers, but the bankers who left, when I go to the conference, this feels like the bank conference. So they're here to support each other and motivate each other. That's important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think DLC has really tried to build themselves as a Fortune 500 company. Similar if you went to Big Blue or Big Orange or Big Red, you'd have that feeling here at DLC. We have a chief economist, Dr. Sherry Cooper. You know, we have those events that you talk about. You know, we go out and we market and advertise DLC like any other big corporation. We're on the TSX, we trade. So if you're looking out in the marketplace and you say, hey, who do I want to be with because they serve me like a big company? It's DLCG.
Yeah, absolutely. And that also helps them industry to change the name around what you talked about. There was a stigma about the mortgage brokers. So all these successful people leaving the bank or with the different industries coming to DLC is also give us a reputation that put forward as well.
Yeah, we're heavily regulated, right? So, you know, we're not cowboys and Indians out there. We can't be. There is a compliance piece. We are regulated by, you know, our provinces or our government. So there's that, and that's really important. But also, you know, what we've really done within DLC is ensure that the professionalism of the mortgage brokers stays high. And we're being recognized for that.
Absolutely.
We're being recognized by investors. We're being recognized by our lender partners and by the regulators. If you look at how we run towards the regulator instead of, you know, away from it, that's part of what we wanted to do to make sure that our reputation stays high within all aspects of our industry.
Eddy, we touched a little bit about AI. So where are you seeing AI is going to be part of the mortgage brokers? And there's a lot of things about we may not need a mortgage brokers in the future. Yeah. Everything's going to be takeovers. And one of the examples I always bring about is I heard a couple of times at the banks conference, the banks bring the online channel that you can apply for. That's not even nearly profitable or doesn't make sense. So can you kind of talk about AI, technology, the future, why this role is so crucial and the relationship part is so crucial?
Yeah, so let me go back. You know, I remember the digital piece of the mortgage broker transaction, you know, online. And I can remember going to a conference and I think it was Rob McClister said, you know, this is going to take over the mortgage broker.
Exactly.
And it just hasn't. If anything, it's helped the mortgage broker. I think AI is the same thing. When you look at the biggest transaction that any one family or individual will do, it's hard to rely or lean on technology. They're going to want some sort of consultation or some sort of advice that is going to help them through. And I think what AI's position or place within our industry is going to be is to help it more efficient.
Absolutely.
Any customer is going to go on an AI or a chat and ask about mortgages, and they're going to come to you with the answers. So as the subject matter expert, you're going to have to say, hey, you know what? That is right here, but that's wrong there. And take them through that journey. So, and you're going to probably have tools that are going to help you within AI to take them through that journey. And I think that's where the investment comes in. Here's what's not going to happen. A client isn't going to necessarily go to an AI or a chat box and do their mortgage from front to back. It'll probably be available. Someone is going to make up, and they're probably working on it now, where they can do that. But the propensity and chances of that happening are probably slim. It is our job to ensure that we're using AI in the right way, that we're bringing in the client the way that it's responsible and going through the journey responsibly. And if AI is going to help us do that, then we want to run towards that and help our agents, our brokers be better and more efficient, and our lenders. And I think that's what we're working on. But Varan is going to go out and he's going to talk to these potential buyers, refinancers, these mortgagors and say, hey, coming to me, I'm going to do a better job at the process, better job at the advice, and better job at keeping you informed. And I'm going to use that with the aid of AI. So that's, I think, where we're going.
So that also leads into the next thing as well. It's a relationship is very important in this business, either with your clients or the partners.
It's still a relationship business, right? You talked about your partners, so your realtors, your financial advisors, your lawyers, your bankruptcy trustees, right? These are all people that are helping clients and are going to count on you to help them.
And also you need to be a subject matter expert. So where you can, you should know more than the AI. So there's a knowledge is also important as well. So the clients are going to have more accessible resources through chat boxes and AI. So you cannot know less than what the client knows.
Yeah, and Rand, the reality is that there's going to be a lot of information. There's going to be a lot of good information, for sure. So that customer or potential client is going to probably be doing a lot of research either through AI or online. And like I said, they're going to have the answers already.
Yep.
And you're right. The subject matter expert piece is really important, and making sure that, hey, you're either validating, right, the validation of that information and going, hey, here's your options. It's going to probably be more than he found or she found. But that relationship piece is going to be the most important piece, and talking them through and trusting you that you're going to put them in the right place with the help or aid of that AI is probably going to be what's going to happen.
So Eddy, let's talk about future. I'm sure there's a lot of works in progress, and there's a lot of initiative you and the leadership team is working on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that and see. And I want to hear from you where you see the DLC and DLCG in 5 years from now.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I can tell you that the biggest part of our success going forward is that education piece and getting the Canadians to understand what a mortgage broker, but more importantly, what DLC can do for you. Again, going back to better situation, better products, better rates. I think that's really important to us. So we are working on campaigns to get that education piece out there to Canadians. So we're really, really proud of that. Also, we talked about AI a little bit and technology. One of the things about owning our own technology company in Newton is we can be more forward thinking and implement those things that are going to improve, the efficiency of our mortgage brokers. Also, make sure that we're connecting with Canadians the right way. We just launched a version 3 of Velocity, and will there be a version 4 or 5? Most likely. So the improvement in investment in technology is paramount with us. Again, millions of dollars spent, but we want to make sure that we're always ahead of the game and always on top of our game. And so that investment will continue. And then finally, talent, people. People make companies.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure that we have the right people within our organization. And we talked a little bit about ensuring that we bring in and attract the right mortgage brokers and mortgage professionals to our business. So we're going to constantly look for ways to improve that. And I think in 5 years, and we talked about $100 billion, and now that's a big origination piece, but our CEO, Gary Morris, has put out there that we're going to do $100 billion by 2027.
Oh, perfect.
And that's in a couple of years. And I think I know we're on track to do that. And we do that by attracting really good people who do really good business and help them grow their business.
Absolutely.
And that's our focus. Our focus is help Varan do better so he can do more business. And we're going to be focusing on that.
And I'm seeing that. I'm sure we will be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eddy, can you comment a little bit about the partnership with RE/MAX? I know RE/MAX is one of the biggest brands in the real estate space, and DLC has partnered up with RE/MAX. So can you elaborate a little bit about what the partnership looks like for the real estate agents and the RE/MAX?
Absolutely. And it was the opportunity to partner with the largest real estate company in Canada.
Yeah.
And us being the largest brokerage in Canada and coming together and really being a powerhouse on a marketing level. So anytime that there's something where we can talk about that partnership is what we want to do. And we want to make sure that Canadians are aware, and RE/MAX has done a fantastic job at making people aware that they are the number one. And we're doing a fantastic job at making sure that people know that DLC is the number one in their respective industries, and just coming together as one and saying, hey, we want to make sure we can service our customers being the best that we are.
So how can a DLC agent take advantage of this, or how this collaboration looks like on a day-to-day operation?
Yeah, so right now it is on a marketing sort of top level, and we're working on what that's going to look like for the real estate agents at Remax and the DLC mortgage brokers and agents at DLC. So we're going to try to see how we can come together. But right now it is a head office to head office sort of partnership, going out in the public and saying, hey, this is who we are. But we are going to do a better job at getting to that ground level and ensuring that our brokers and agents and the Remax realtors are coming together in a more meaningful way, and ensuring they're taking care of those customers.
Absolutely. Eddy, what is a piece of advice that you can give to a mortgage agent right now? Everyone is, the market is shifting. Is not as where it should be right now. What's the one piece of advice you can give a mortgage agent right now to grow their business?
Yeah, I've been around a long time, friend, and I've seen a lot of market shift. And the ones that really take advantage of market shifts are the ones that see the opportunity and are prospecting more when they have seen that shift. So what do I mean by that? And Keller Williams says it's the best. You're not going to know about a market shift if you're not at least going out and doing 3 hours of lead generation a day. What does that mean for Vran? You're out talking to realtors, lawyers, bankruptcy trustees, financial planners, and they're going to let you know that market shift's happening way before the market is seeing that market shift. And then you're going to prepare yourself on how to find those opportunities. And you do that by communicating more often, by making more calls. And those agents that have always been on top are the ones that prospect more, understand the market shifts more, and looking for the opportunities more. So what kind of opportunities present themselves now? Well, we talk about Gold Rush. Gold Rush is giving you the opportunity to communicate with those clients renewing. Those clients renewing, chances are, have equity because they've been around for 3, 4, 5 years.
Okay.
They probably have improved their situation in their job and income, and they can afford or qualify for more mortgage. So your position is, hey, do you need to pay off debt? So debt consolidation, make that investment. We talked about it's never been a better time to buy than it is right now.
Absolutely.
Do you want to improve your situation overall? So looking for those opportunities is going to get you to that next level. And turning on Gold Rush, making those phone calls, getting more, mentorship and teams together and ensuring that you're keeping each other accountable. These are all part and parcel of taking advantage of a shift. And those that have been doing the same thing they were doing last year and they're doing it now, chances are they're seeing their business pull back because they haven't adjusted properly. They probably haven't taken on Gold Rush like they should have. Probably aren't increasing their prospecting calls. They're probably not asking the right questions to their prospects and clients. They're just doing the exact same thing. Those are the ones that are suffering.
Absolutely.
And we can help. We really can.
So why don't we talk about how we can help them? Because I'm sure someone who's watching this want to know how we can help them.
Yeah. So be engaged. And I always said the best thing that you can do as a mortgage broker is lean in to what we offer here at DLCG, right? So first and foremost is the technology and our tools, right? So we talked about Gold Rush. We also have an incredible app that you can utilize to help you with your clientele base. In that app, you can go through refinance scenarios and ensure that that client sees their situation improving. There's also situations that you can go to realtors, financial planners, and referral sources and help them use your app to get business in and get referred business. We have our people. We talk about our RVPs who are equipped to help you with, increasing if it's revenues through, other sources like credit insurance, to make sure that you're utilizing the tools and technologies that we offer. So engaging with them. There's always ways. You have to ask, hey, how can I be better? What can I do to improve my business? And we have the solutions.
Absolutely.
So lean in, come to our conferences. Make sure that you're at Inspire. That's just coming up in September, which will have over 600 mortgage brokers attending and over 750 overall with partners, et cetera. come to, the calls and the trainings. Ensure you're turning on, what it is that's going to help you, like the gold rushes or utilizing the app. There's all these ways that you can improve your business. So lean in, right? The best thing you can do for your business is utilize what's offered to help your business.
Absolutely.
And we have those within DLCG. So I'd say that's how you do it.
Absolutely. And also the franchise owners, like I'm sure DLC has a great franchise owners. They lead by the examples and talk to them. And if you're...
What blows me away is you have all these things that are proven. You talked about how Gold Rush is proven, but yet there's people that want to push back from it because they think they're smarter.
Mm-hmm.
It blows me away.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And what does it cost you to turn on these things? I can tell you, nothing.
Nothing.
Most times, nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of setting you up.
Yeah.
And maybe, a couple of emails.
Yeah.
Text messaging.
Yeah.
A couple of maybe snail mail.
Yeah.
That is all part of our program, our CRM program. And it's just a matter of setting it up.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Your phone rings, your email lights up, business comes in.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Clients are happy.
Clients are happy,
Yeah.
right? Your prospects are going, oh my God, I've never engaged with Vran so often. And your customers are going, oh, thank you, Vran. And you know what? Sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to be in front of your clients now, as you said, in a shift in market? Of course you do.
Yeah.
And, being reluctant to do that, or, oh, I don't know, I have a better solution, I think, or, you know what, I'm good, this blows me away, but it does happen.
Perfect. Eddy, so how do you manage this and your personal life for the last 20 years?
Yeah, I'm blessed with an incredible family. It starts with my wife, Tracy, and then my boys, Aiden, Evan, and Nolan. Evan actually works here as, we call them dialers. He gets people, he calls up our competitors, or he calls up, bankers and gets them excited about joining DLC. I'm very blessed, Rana. I mean, listen, I think everybody around me knows what I do and knows my position and is very accepting that, sometimes dad
With demand.
comes home late or is distracted. Yeah.
Or traveling, flying.
Traveling, being in the, and they understand it. And, listen, I try to do my best at ensuring that I'm there and present when I need to be. But it's a big job, right? And, and I'm okay with it. And so is my family. But, we get to do fun stuff.
Yep.
And I was out to dinner with some brokers yesterday, and it's all good, man. It's all good.
I'm sure there's a lot of audience in my network and your network. They are probably a top producing mortgage specialist, or they may be the DLC model. That's what I like about here, right? As a DLCG, we have different models. I'm a DLC franchise owner. There's someone may not be the right fit for the DLC franchise model.
Absolutely.
They want to talk about different models. If they want to learn more and if they want to be part of DLCG, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, thank you. And yes, I love talking about DLC and DLCG. So anytime you want to reach out to me, the best way to get a hold of me is my email, which is Eddy, EDDY, @dlc.ca, or call me. 647-403-7320. Love to have a chat if you want to talk about joining one of our incredible companies.
Absolutely.
If you just want to talk about how you can want to improve your business, if you want to talk about anything at all when it comes to mortgages, being an entrepreneur, maybe you're in a different line of work and you want to ask questions about, I will definitely point you in the right direction and love to hear from you.
Yeah, we want to bring the best talent to DLCG.
Yeah, we do.
That's how we can change the stigma and we can grow together.
Absolutely.
Eddy, thank you for being an amazing leader and leading like one of the top mortgage agents in the country. And thank you for being a host today. Really appreciate your time, Eddy.
Well, Vran, thank you. I mean, this guy has been incredible from the start. You and I got along very well right from the beginning. And what you do, Vran, every day for not only your customers, but your team, and what you do for DLC, I'm so proud of you. You have done incredibly well. And I can just imagine where you're going to be in next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Thank you for everything you do. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.